All right, good evening and welcome. Thank you all for joining us tonight for this very special event of the Penfield Players in collaboration with the Bronze Collective and theatre+nafsi. We're bringing you tonight a live online reading of The Circle, a Book Club Sisterhood, written by Rochester playwright Laura A. Thomas, who is here with us tonight, as is the director, Reuben Tapp, and the entire original cast who premiered this play during the 2018 Sankofa Festival right here in Rochester, New York. And we've added Sherlyn Washington as our narrator. I want to send a special thank you to all the folks who tuned in last night to our wonderful conversation with playwright Laura Thomas. We're glad you're back with us. We are streaming now on YouTube Live, as well as through a Zoom session. So if you happen to experience any issues with your internet during the show or bumped out of the Zoom session, please just refresh your player or log back into the Zoom. It won't disrupt the show. And if you happen to have misplaced the link that you used to get here, just go back to penfieldplayers.org or one of our Facebook event pages, and you should be able to find it again there. And if any of our cast lose their connection, just bear with us, stay with us, and we'll continue as soon as we resolve any technical problems that might happen. Also, please stay with us after the show for a Q&A and talkback session with Laura and Reuben and the entire cast. And you can put your questions, if you're watching on YouTube, into the comments. Or if you're with us here in the Zoom session, once the reading is over, you can use the raise your hand button, which is over in the participants window, so that we can see that you've got a question and call on you. Or you can enter your question into the chat. Please hold off adding any chat questions until after the reading is over, so we don't miss them and they're not any sort of distraction during the reading. Let's see, other business. Oh, there's going to be one 5-minute intermission. So you have a chance to run to the restroom or grab a snack. And I think that is it. So please sit back and enjoy The Circle, Book Club Sisterhood.
The Circle, a Book Club Sisterhood by Laura A. Thomas. Act 1, Scene 1. This story takes place present day in the neat, attractive middle-class home of book club member Leah Charles. The well-furnished living room, dining room, kitchen area have walls that are soft pastel color. At center stage right, there is a sofa with an Afghan across the back. There is an end table with a lamp on the right side of the sofa. There is an oblong coffee table with magazines in front of the sofa upstage. There is a small kitchen area that is visible. The scene opens within the living room area. 22-year-old Tommy Faye Biggins is dressed in a flattering, casual street clothes with a style that is of a person of her age. She is on a landline phone. Her cell phone is plugged into a wall socket nearby.
Daddy, I've been looking for you everywhere. Call me back at Miss Leah's house. Okay? It's an emergency.
Mary Griffin, an attractive African-American woman, is in her mid to late 40s, walks in carrying a grocery bag.
What's the emergency, Tommy Faye?
My dad already left for his trucking convention in Ohio, and I need to reach him. My car's gonna be towed.
Mary puts down the grocery bag. Tommy Faye continues to punch numbers into the landline phone. Patrice Riley saunters in after Mary. She is a glamorous, well-coiffed, and well-dressed woman. She's carrying an expensive-looking handbag, a tote bag, a book, and a pastry box.
Why do you think your car is going to be towed?
I know your daddy pays the car note.
Cause that's what the sign said.
What sign?
The sign on my car.
What are you talking about?
Last night I went out to the club with my girls, High Top and náfsi, okay? I hooked up with this dude I know, and then he dropped me off at my car this morning, and there was a paper on the window that said, if I don't pay them tickets, then they're gonna tow it in 24 hours.
So why didn't you pay the tickets?
I couldn't drive the car. There's this big boot thing on the wheel. And the Violations Bureau said that there's over $600 in tickets that need to be paid before they even take it off.
That doesn't make any kind of sense.
I know, right? Charging me like that and they lying. I don't owe that much.
I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about you. Your father buys you a brand new car and you mess around and get tickets on it.
It wasn't my fault.
Where's your car now, Tommy?
Still parked at the club.
No kind of sense.
Patrice starts going through the bag that Mary has brought in. She's examining the items. Tommy Faye slumps in a chair.
I told Daddy he should give me that American Express black card. You can charge up to like $100,000 on that bad boy.
So it's your daddy's fault, huh?
He could have given me the credit card like I asked, but he's trying to get all strict.
Where's Leah?
Oh, she went to lunch with Vita.
What?
Why would she be with Vita?
Maybe it's because she wants to be with her daughter, unlike some people in this room that wants to send theirs away.
Tommy Faye.
You watch yourself with me, little girl.
Sorry.
Patrice is still sifting through the bag of foodstuff Mary brought in.
Mary, you didn't bring the weight loss tea?
I'm sorry. I guess I forgot again.
You still trying to get skinnier, Patrice?
It's what Robert likes. I'm kind of glad he's out of town right now. Now that man can't keep his hands off of me.
That's a problem.
I didn't say it was. Anyway, a woman has got to keep herself up. Otherwise, she becomes invisible.
Well, you look all right for your age.
Don't be a smart ass.
So, Tommy, why are you here?
It's the book club meeting, right?
You know what I mean. How did you get in?
Miss Leah let me in.
She let you in and just went to have lunch with Vita?
Yeah.
When did she leave?
God, 40 million questions.
And I expect you to answer all of them. Now, when did she leave?
I don't know, around 2?
Well, it's almost 6 now.
That's strange. What did she say?
She said she was going to lunch with Vita.
But that doesn't make any sense.
Unless something's being left out. Tommy Faye, put some of that college education your daddy paid for to good use, okay? See if you can string a few words together and tell us why you're at Leah's house and she's nowhere to be found. Don't leave anything out.
Exactly.
All right. So when I got back to my car this morning.
After your one-night stand.
After I spent the night doing what I wanted to do because I'm grown. I got back to my car this morning. I saw the paper on my car, but I thought it was like a flyer for like a party or something. You know, Rashad had already pulled off, and when I tried to pull off, my car wouldn't go. That's when I saw the boot thing on the wheel.
Okay.
I was gonna call Rashad back, but my phone was dead. I had forgotten to plug it in because me and Rashad stayed busy all night long. And I forgot.
Okay.
So I didn't want to wait for a cab, and I remember Miss Leah was taking Fridays off of work. So I walked over here in my new Ferragamos.
Rubbing her pricey footwear.
I messed up my kicks too. These cost me $450 and I had to walk 8 blocks in them. Oh, heels getting all run down.
You can spend $400 on shoes and you can't pay your parking tickets.
I already had the shoes before I knew about the tickets.
Okay, no judgments.
Good planning, college girl.
Then what?
Then I got here and I called my daddy and I'm waiting for him to call back.
Okay, so how did Leah seem?
Just regular mostly. She's working on flowers
Pointing at a pile of flowers on the table.
and talking on the phone with Mo's mother about some engagement party. That woman pissed because Mo ain't doing nothing to plan her own wedding. But now that I think about it, Miss Leah was a little nervous.
Did she say why?
No, but she said she was waiting for an important call. And when the phone rang again, I thought it was my daddy. So I picked it up, but it was Vita. I told her Suzanne was my mother and then she remembered us. But then she started tripping.
Then how?
She was saying that even though my mother was gone, at least I had a mother who loved me. Eeks. Then Miss Leah took the phone. Went upstairs to talk to her.
Okay, then what?
Then Miss Leah came downstairs and she said she was going to have lunch with Vita and that I could stay here and wait for my daddy to call and to come back at 6 tonight for the book club meeting. And then she left.
Vita doesn't hardly say boo to her mother on a good day, and now they're having a 3-hour lunch. She must want something big.
Well, I didn't get a chance to say anything to Vita about the last baby she lost.
I'm glad you didn't. This was Vita's 3rd miscarriage.
Her 3rd? Dang, what's wrong with her? She can't hold no baby.
Or unless that information is volunteered, it's rude to ask. Oh, we did send flowers or something that last time, didn't we?
Yes,
She said she was 30. That's 8 years older than me.
At that moment, the door opens. Evangeline Miss Evie Buford enters. She is an 80-year-old African-American woman. She's dressed in a well-worn men's suit. She's carrying a couple of picket signs under one arm, a book under the other arm, and a bag of food in her hands.
See, I could see if she was like too old or had like warped ovaries or something.
I'm old. I have warped ovaries, so what about it?
Mary and Patrice come toward Miss Evie to relieve her of what she's carrying. Tommy Faye keeps her seat. Mary and Patrice place the food they all brought on platters, plates, and in bowls, sniffing the food and quietly discussing where to place things. They set the table for the group to have a book club meeting and dinner. Patrice takes the sign from Miss Evie and looks at it.
Tell me that is not a picket sign I see, Miss Evie.
When folks don't do right, you're gonna keep seeing them as long as God spares me.
Who are you picketing, Miss Evie?
Whoever needs it, honey.
Ooh, Miss E is showing her badassery.
You know, it's a shame. That's what it is. And anytime somebody wants to make a few dollars more, they look to take it from the senior citizens or the poorest folks first. They think we ain't got enough sense or strength enough to speak up for ourselves and let them know we see what they're doing and we're just not having it.
Oh, she not having it. She not having it. Who's trying to jack you, Miss Evie?
Those folks at the senior citizens complex where my friend Dorothy lives. You know, they raise the rent, cut services, slow about fixing anything. Now they want to evict tenants from one of the buildings so they can turn into a high-priced condominium.
Well, doesn't the city council have to vote on that first?
Yes, ma'am. And that's why we're going to be at City Hall first thing Monday morning. We started at Dorothy's complex, but folks in senior buildings all over are catching the devil. Maureen took pictures of us demonstrating. She says our story will be in the first edition of People's First.
You know, having a write-up in Mo's newspaper will be a great way to get the word out.
Miss Evie, you don't even live in those old people buildings.
So what does that mean?
That means you're always demonstrating for something that's not your problem. You should be like, doing what people your age do instead of getting in all that mess. What? I'm just saying.
Sound like you're saying I shouldn't be involved in something if it doesn't affect me.
Okay, well, you're old and nobody expects you to be marching around with a picket sign and you could break a hip or something.
Young lady, it's not what people expect of me. It's living up to what I expect of myself that matters.
Tommy Faye, you really need to just...
No, you know what? Let me talk. This is a learning opportunity. Our young folks got a different way of seeing things. Back when I did social work in the school, I always said to the teachers and the parents, don't get mad at what the young ones say. They got a different perspective on things. You got to take the time to listen to them and then explain so they can understand. You know, as a young person now, you can go anywhere, live anywhere, do most anything. When I was your age, I was still in Alabama. I hadn't even married Mr. Buford yet, God rest him. Jim Crow was everywhere. You couldn't go most places unless it was to work. We were shut out of most everything. Life was hard. Ain't no if and and about it. Life was hard, but we made it on through. We made it by the grace of God and because we looked out for each other. When nobody else going to help us, we had to help ourselves and each other.
Patrice gently touches Miss Evie's shoulder to help her sit. Miss Evie only has her book in her hands now, as the ladies have relieved her of her picket signs and the bag of food.
Miss Evie, why don't you have a seat?
Yeah, I believe it will. Been on my feet all day. I'm tired, but that's a good tired. Like when you know you're done your duty and take a seat and say, Lord, I've done my best in service. Thank you for another day.
You want something to drink, Miss Evie?
Yes, darling, I have. What you got that's cold? No, wait, Mary. I tell you what, how about give me a beer?
Whoa, Miss Evie is getting her drink on.
Yes, ma'am. I still like my little cold brew now every now and then. Don't let the snow on the roof fool you none, girl. Back when Mr. Buford and I worked in the school, almost every Friday night, we'd stop off at Junior's for a good old fish fry and hush puppies. And Junior was from my home in Alabama. And if that man didn't learn anything else in this life, he knew how to make up some fish. You hear me? Mm-hmm. And he made the slaw so good, you want to have him just sit the bucket down on your table so you could stick your whole head in there and not come up till you hit the bottom. That fish fry and a nice cold beer.
The ladies continue to laugh as they enjoy Miss Evie's story. Mary brings her a cold beer.
Patrice, where are my signs?
I laid them over against the wall.
Oh, good, right there. You know, Dorothy drew up those ones. They need work. I want Leah to fix them up for me with the color markers. Leah here?
Nope. She went to lunch with Vita hours ago and she still ain't come back. What? Y'all know she left and she ain't come back. I'm just saying.
Well, then they must be having a nice visit.
Miss Evie, you don't seem to be surprised that Leah and Vita are together. And for, what, 4 hours?
They must have a lot to talk about.
The way Vita treats her mama is why I got no use for that girl now.
Well, it's a blessing they're together now.
Yeah, but why so suddenly?
Because they are mother and child. There is turmoil, but there's also love. So somehow they'll work it out.
Maybe I should call Leah and tell her we're all here at the house waiting to start the book club meeting.
Just let them enjoy each other.
Okay, maybe, just maybe, they killed each other and the police are searching for next of kin.
Oh. Really, Tommy? Really?
Dang, I was just playing.
There's a sharp knock at the door. The room becomes still as the ladies look at each other in surprise, because Leah would not be knocking at her own door. Mary's the closest to the door.
Open the door, Mary.
There's another knock at the door.
You want me to get it?
No, I got it.
Maureen Mo Kelly enters. She's an attractive white woman who looks her age of 32. She's loaded down with a box of cooked food and bags of what looks like bread in each hand.
Oh, it's just you.
No.
I love you too, sunshine.
Why did you knock like the police?
Because I wanted to keep you on your toes. Why'd you think? Look, my hands are full. I had to knock with my foot.
Those shoes are an abomination. Ugh, not to mention your farm wear.
Mary takes some packages from Mo.
Let me help you with that.
What is all this?
Food from this new Madagascan restaurant off Main Street. I interviewed the owner for People First. I told him I was headed to my book club and we love to eat. He made me a buffet to go. Oh, my God, have I had the most amazing day. And there she is, my shero, Miss Evangeline Buford.
Mary and Patrice take the food from Mo and unpack it while they look through it.
Oh my God, that was awesome today, wasn't it?
What was awesome, Mo?
You didn't tell them about the demonstration?
No need to get into all of that.
Mary and Patrice come from the kitchen area where they put down Mo's food, box and bags, to be closer.
Tell them, Miss Evie. Okay, I'll tell it. I knew Miss Evie, some housing advocates, and the Grey Panthers had organized a demonstration at the Covington building. I was going to do some interviews. I thought it was going to be routine stuff. Well, no freaking way. It was a real old-time peaceful civil rights demonstration, and Miss Evie was their leader. There were like 500 protesters. There were younger people, older people, Black, white, Latino. The Grey Panthers had their shirts and caps. They had signs and American flags. There was such a show of unity.
Miss Evie blushes and looks down as she silently sips her beer.
Miss Evie, you showed out.
We had something to say and we said it, honey.
Oh yeah, she said it with a freaking bullhorn. Whoa, what? There was this big, huge crowd, and Miss Evie was leading them. Miss Evie climbed up on a bench in front of the Covington building by herself. She got on the bullhorn and started talking about what the Covington administration is doing to its residents. She was bummed, and when she said, "We're not having it," the crowd went wild. The police couldn't do anything because it was a peaceful protest. They just stood across the street and watched. Miss Evie rallied the crowd and she started chanting, "Put people first, put people first." And the other protesters started chanting it too. And get this, Miss Evie's choice of attire may have brought our LGBT friends in with strong support. Man, and when they started chanting with the Grey Panthers, they didn't need bullhorns. It was such a beautiful, empowering event. Juka got some great shots.
Juka Jackson?
Yeah,
He's still around.
he works cheap and the paper needs good work, cheap as we can get it.
Well, it sounds like Miss E handled that like a boss. And speaking of boss, let me call my daddy again. He's had to have gotten one of my messages by now.
Tommy Faye unfurls herself from the couch and goes to where the landline and her cell phone are plugged in. She checks her cell phone and uses the landline.
With all this covering demonstrations and restaurants opening, nobody would believe you have an engagement party coming up in 2 weeks.
Mom's handling most of that stuff. It's just a party.
An engagement party, Maureen. Followed by a wedding in 6 months. You gonna let your mother handle that too? I mean, I'm still willing to be your wedding planner, but you've got to let me know something. You know, my services are in high demand.
Leave the girl alone, Tree. She'll take care of it.
Do you know that your mother invited another 12 people to your engagement party? I mean, Leah's doing flowers for 2 more tables.
Oh, damn it. Where is Leah?
Tommy Faye gets off the phone.
Oh, she went to lunch with Vita and she's not back yet.
We're on the outs, weren't they?
For as long as I remember.
Wow, so this is fantastic news, right?
As long as it ain't no bloodshed.
Your father coming to collect you, Tommy Faye.
I told you he's at a trucking convention in Ohio. I'm waiting to hear back from him.
Don't leave, Tommy. We haven't even had dinner yet.
You know, it's nice to have a young person's perspective on the books we discuss.
She probably didn't even read the book. She never does.
I don't need to read a book to have an opinion in a conversation.
Why don't you call your friend the one who you spent the night with?
I don't need to call Rashad for nothing but to scratch my itch.
Rashad. Sounds unemployed.
Patrice, how are you going to just decide if somebody's unemployed by their name? But for your information, Rashad is an entrepreneur. He's a real estate investor and a music producer.
The homeowner, Leah Charles, walks in. She's an attractive African-American woman in her early 50s. She's wearing nondescript but neat, casual day wear.
Hey, ladies. I see you've gotten started.
Leah, hey girl.
I am glad you're here, Miss Leah. I was starting to think something happened between you and Vita.
Something did happen. Tommy Faye, we talked, we laughed, we cried. We had the most beautiful, wonderful time. It's a whole new beginning for us.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord.
What did she want?
To spend time with me.
Mm-hmm. Why so suddenly? I mean, I'm not trying to rain on your parade or anything, Leo, but
Yes, you are.
What?
Yes, you are. You're trying to rain on her parade because you don't want nobody else to be happy because you're not.
You better watch yourself with me, little girl.
No, I won't.
Miss Evie calmly gets up from her seat and goes to the back of the couch where Tommy Faye has been sitting, puts her hands on the girl's shoulders.
You know what? You did all that Botox and all that liposuction. You did everything to get skinny, and Mr. Roberts still left you for his assistant.
Tommy.
Robert is on a business trip.
You're just mad because I wouldn't let my friend High Top help you.
Help her with what?
Oh, you spoiled trifling heifer.
It's true and you know it. You're mad at me and you're jealous if anybody else is happy.
Tommy Faye, you're gonna stop this right now. Teresa's been like an aunt to you and you're gonna show her some respect.
She used to be an aunt to me. Now all she does is criticize me. She criticizes my friends and everything I do. She tries to make me seem so dumb. She doesn't want Miss Leah or me or Mo or anybody to be happy because she's not.
Tommy Faye, you're gonna apologize to Patrice for talking ugly like that. You know she loves all of us. Besides, I have a joy nobody in the world can take away from me. I'm gonna have a baby.
The women are shocked into silence. They are all staring at Leah. End of scene 1. Act 1, scene 2. The scene opens with everyone in the positions in which they stood at the close of the previous scene. Each seems to be waiting for the other to speak. Then all eyes are on Leah.
So what's the punchline?
I have never been more serious or happy about anything in my entire life.
Leah, you're not even seeing anyone right now.
Oh, Miss Leah is getting her freak on. Have some of that ninja sex, eh?
Don't be disgusting.
It's just sex. It's nature. And as we know, Miss Leah is a nature lover. Ooh.
Tommy, show some respect, some maturity, please. Leah, do you want to talk privately about this before you tell everyone?
No, Mary. We're all family here.
Mo hugs Leah.
Oh my God, Leah, congratulations.
Congratulations. Is that what you have to say to her? Leah, who would you even get pregnant by?
Well, don't make me feel like an unwed teen, Mary. Who doesn't matter. What matters is that I'm happy, Vita's happy, and we're a family again. Maybe for the first time ever.
Vita? You told Vita about this?
She's very much a part of it.
Why would you do this now?
Because now is the right time.
And what about your plan to buy the shop?
I'm still gonna buy the shop.
Leah, as a woman gets older, childbirth becomes more dangerous.
Of course, I know that.
And God forbid, what if the cancer comes back? You have only been in remission for 3 years.
I know what I'm doing.
Leah, look, I know your relationship with Vita has not been ideal, but to risk a pregnancy at 50 years old is just too dangerous. I wish you had talked to me about wanting to do this.
I knew that you would try to talk me out of it, Mary, but it's the right thing for me and Vita.
Why do you keep bringing up Vita? Truth be told, Leah, she doesn't act like your daughter. She barely gives you a word. You think she's going to be thrilled to be a big sister when she can't be a mother herself?
Vita cares that I'm having this baby. Not only does she care, but she's thrilled that through me, she is going to be a mother. Look, it may not make sense to you all, but this baby is as much for me as it is for Vita and her husband. My daughter has been through a lot due to my mistakes. I have to do what I can to try to make up for some of that.
Leah, no.
I took from Vita. I was 18 when she was born. You were there, Mary, you know. As soon as I gave birth to her, I turned her over to my family to raise her so I could chase my dreams of singing. By the time she was 12, I settled down, but it was too late. We couldn't connect. I didn't give her what she needed, but I can now. I can give her a dream of being a mother.
So, Miss Leah, okay, you're gonna get pregnant on purpose so you can give the baby to Vita to raise because she got beef with you for letting your relatives raise her?
No, it's not quite like that, Tommy Faye. You see, I'm going to be Vita's surrogate. The baby that I'll be carrying will actually be Vita and Mark's own child. I will have their egg and sperm implanted into me by a doctor. So to answer your question, Mary, I will not get pregnant by anyone. I'm going to have in vitro fertilization so I can carry Vita's baby for her.
So, again, you'll be carrying your own grandbaby, right?
As a matter of fact, I will be Tommy.
Oh my God.
I knew that would be the reaction.
Isn't in vitro fertilization wildly expensive?
It is.
And it doesn't always take the first time?
That's true, but I've been saving.
And here I thought you were saving to buy the shop.
I've been doing that too. And with Mr. Favati letting me work from home on Fridays, I've had time to do more of my own contracts. Oh, Maureen, please call your mother. She added to your engagement party guest list again.
Look, Leah, I can't let you do this. I can't let you risk your life. I always knew Vita was callous and selfish, but that she's trying to guilt you into this just doesn't make any sense.
She's not guilting me into anything. This was my idea. She didn't want me to do this, but I went ahead with seeing my doctors.
And you can't tell me that they agreed to this.
Truthfully, neither of them wanted to go through with it. And before my primary physician would sign off on it, she had me undergo a psychiatric evaluation.
Why does it have to be you? I mean, couldn't Vita and Mark just get another surrogate to carry a baby? Somebody younger who hasn't had cancer?
Given my age and past health history, it is a risk, but this is a risk worth taking for my daughter.
Leah, come on. When you step away from this thing and really weigh the risk, you'll see.
The in vitro procedure is scheduled for this coming Monday.
Why so soon?
Patrice, it's not too soon for me. I've been planning this for almost a year.
Oh.
She gets up suddenly and grabs her purse and keys.
Mary, where are you going?
Look, I gotta get out of here.
Why are you leaving? We have so much to talk about.
Oh, you want to talk now? You see me or talk to me damn near every day and don't breathe a word of this to me? Me, of all people, Leah? Now, you're supposed to be my best friend. Come on.
Mary, please, I want you to understand.
I don't right now. I need to go out for a while. I gotta go.
Mary exits. Tommy Faye stands.
Wait up, Aunt Mary. I'll go with you. I'm gonna go with her.
Yes, you go with her. Go with her.
Tommy Faye takes a few steps toward the door.
And if my daddy calls, tell him I'll be right back.
Tommy Faye exits.
So, despite the way Vita turned out, you're gonna have another one, huh?
I was too young and unsettled when Vita was born. It'll be all different for this baby.
End of Act 1, Scene 2. Act 1, Scene 3. It is 1/2 hour later. Patrice, Mo, and Miss Evie are sitting in the living room. Leah is pacing behind the couch with the house phone in her hand. Leah talks into the landline telephone, leaving a message.
Mary, I'm sorry I didn't include you in my decision, but I want you to be a part of it now. You and Tommy Faye, come on back now, please. We're going to hold off on dinner until you get here, okay? I love you.
She hangs up the phone and takes a seat in a chair to the right of the couch. Mo sits on the arm of the sofa, as if to comfort her.
Girl, I wouldn't do that baby thing again for money. Weight gain, the swollen feet, can't sleep, gas, hungry all the time, can't remember anything. So, you know, before I had Ava, honey, I wore a size 6 shoe. She's 13 now and my feet still haven't gone back to the right size.
Oh, they're the right size, all right. They're what they're going to be from here on out.
A little weight gain and swollen feet is a small price to pay for a new life.
I'll tell you another thing. It is going to be hell to lose that baby weight. Mo, are you listening to this? Honey, you need to go ahead and have your baby sooner rather than later. I thought you'd be the first person to have a baby. Well, as long as that fast tail Tommy Faye doesn't get herself caught up. She's got to be too mouthy for her own good.
Said you're angry because she wouldn't help you. Help you with what?
No, I don't even know. She's always popping off about something.
Uh-huh.
Tommy Faye will be all right. She's just young, that's all.
Or she's too much of it. The problem is her daddy spoils her. He pays that girl's tuition, car, apartment, books, gives her an allowance. I mean, everything is handed to her.
Listen here, her dad has done well for himself. He grew his truck business from nothing He can afford to give his child, and he does. Nothing wrong with that.
Speaking of working hard, Miss Evie, I'd like to do a feature article on you for the next edition of People First. You've done so much, getting your degree in social work in the 1960s, being one of the first Black social workers in the school system, your activism in the community. We could spotlight you as a hero in our own community. Juka got some great shots of you. We could run the feature along with the article on the demonstration.
I just do what I can. I won't say I'm no hero, though. People are too quick to use that word.
I think that sounds nice, Mo. You should let her do it, Miss Evie.
Mo, nobody would believe you got an engagement party in 2 weeks and a wedding coming up in 6 months. Do you know that most people start their wedding planning at least a year in advance? Tell her, Leah, you need to try that spotlight where you're gonna have your wedding. Here, I brought you some things to look at.
She puts wedding materials, magazines in front of Mo.
Mo is fine. She got a lot to contend with. There ain't many young girls her age can run a whole newspaper.
People First is just a weekly alternative paper, but it still takes a lot of time and commitment.
You better show that fiance some commitment before somebody snatches him from under you.
Neil knows how important my work is to me.
If you know, like I know, you'll stop fooling around and put a lock on that man. You're not all that young, you know. He's a lawyer making good money. I don't know what you're waiting for or who you're waiting for.
Who I'm waiting for? What do you mean?
Oh, nothing. By the way, I was surprised you had Juka Jackson for your photographer today.
Why are you surprised? He's a freelancer.
Oh, yes. He's a youth advocate, freelance photographer, ex-boyfriend.
He's always been just a friend.
Well, can't have too many of those unless you got a fiance.
He is just a good friend.
Oh, a good friend. I'm not saying a word. I mean, you know, I'm just saying how the thing probably looks.
How it looks to whom?
Anyone with eyes.
I am engaged to Neil.
And I'm happy for you. I'm the one who has been reminding you that you that you're running short on time, you know, but.
But what?
Oh, you know, there's been enough confusion here tonight. Let's just leave it alone.
No, I don't want to leave it alone. What are you saying?
It's not what I'm saying, it's what might be being said.
Well, spill it. What's being said and by whom?
Some people, I mean, I'm not saying who, but some people might question the way you're always with Juka.
Juka works in the community and I write about news that affects the community. What we do overlap, our paths meet.
Bumping into each other is one thing, but I mean, I don't want to say you were all over each other, but well, that's the way some people might describe it.
Would they, Patrice?
Well, going back to that Youth Day basketball tournament Juka sponsors, some people may have thought it was more than friendly. The way you stood at the sidelines cheering, handing him water and towels. I mean, at one point, you even pulled those dreadlocks back in a ponytail for him.
And?
Now, I don't care for those long dreadlocks myself, but on him, it's not bad. I mean, maybe because he's so tall and has that build. I mean, he'd kind of look like a bronze Adonis if he wasn't broke as hell.
Yeah, I remember the youth basketball tournament. It was in June, the last time your husband abandoned you.
My husband is on a business trip.
We're still sticking to that story, huh?
I have got to know what smells so delicious.
It's Madagascan food. I interviewed the owners of a new restaurant today, and they gave me a whole spread at a discount because we're friends, Patrice. I'll show you what we have.
They head to the dinner table. Mo and Patrice keep the stare down going.
They do a lot with rice. Now, fried rice, meatballs, vegetables, and a dish called romazava. They say that if
Mo and Leah are visible as they continue to chat quietly and look through the bowls and platters visible from the living area. End of Act 1, Scene 3. Act 2, Scene 1. Patrice is sitting in the living room area alone on the couch. She's thumbing through one of the bridal magazines that she has brought in with her. Mo and Leah can be seen in the kitchen area. Miss Evie comes from upstairs. She stands behind Patrice and looks over the shoulder at the magazine for a bit. Patrice looks up and sees Miss Evie looking at the magazine over her shoulder. She doesn't move. They look at the magazine together for a moment with Patrice turning the pages.
I like that.
Yes, with the train.
That's really saying something.
It would be nice in a pale pink, too.
Yeah, you're right. That would be nice.
Miss Evie comes around and sits by one of the chairs, looking at Patrice while Patrice continues to look at the magazine.
What?
I just like seeing you like this.
Like what?
Calm and quiet, just interested in something.
I'm interested in lots of things. What? You don't think I'm interested in anything?
Oh, I think you're interested in things. Maybe not always the right things, but once something grabs hold of your interest, you don't let it go.
Isn't that what most people do?
You know how to bite, don't you?
I'm just saying what everybody knows, probably even Neil.
You talk about that little Tommy Faye being too much. No, ma'am, honey, you the one. You a whiskey in a teacup.
Another one of your countrified sayings.
You're a biting gal when you want to be, but you know that Maureen is no pushover. She'll match any sly insult you want to dish.
She's a fool. And not just because I want the wedding contract either. She got a chance to marry a rich Jewish lawyer, and she's throwing it away to run behind some broke artist.
Maureen has a lot of friends. Maybe Duke is just one of them.
A woman not gonna be just friends with a man like that.
Listen, honey, Teresa, I'm 80 years old. I spent over 40 of those years as a social worker. If there's one thing these years have given me is an understanding of people. You get so you can see right through them. Sometimes you rather not, but if you love them, you gotta say something so they can correct their path if they choose to.
You a seer now, Miss Evie?
I'm a friend, darling. I know you don't want to hear it right now, but Tommy Faye's a friend too.
She's a spoiled, disrespectful brat.
Who told the truth.
I know you don't hold with the way that girl talked to me here today.
And look, I don't care for what she said and that she said it in front of everybody, but Tommy Faye told the truth here tonight, Patrice.
What truth?
About how lately you have turned on her.
She just gets on my nerves with taking advantage of her father and not appreciating what she has. That's all.
You've been knowing Tommy Faye all her life, and that girl ain't no different than what she's always been. There's something else that you're not saying.
Patrice slams down her magazine and gets up looking for her purse.
I'm going out for a smoke.
You know what, Patrice, you're a beautiful woman. Yeah, you are. You're not as young as you once were. None of us are. I don't know if that's what's bothering you or if it's something else, but whatever it is, it's no reason to push away people who love you.
I'm not doing that.
I'm seeing it with my own eyes. For months now, you've been riding Tommy Faye. You've been talking about sending your Ava away to that school. Now Leah here is planning to have a child, and with what her health has been, she needs our support.
Leah knows I care about her.
Well, she might need to hear that from you. I know if I were her, I'd be wondering why, instead of comforting me, you spent the entire evening picking on Maureen.
I'm going out for a smoke.
Don't run away. Just now, I want, just wait a minute. I just want you to hear me. The girl I've been seeing here lately is not Patrice I know.
It's work, pressure.
I'm an old woman. You may not want to talk to me about what's causing this change in you, but you need honey to talk to somebody. Don't hold it all inside, because sooner or later it'll eat its way out.
Why does something have to be wrong with me just because I'm fed up with Tommy Faye being a spoiled baby and Mo acting like she's got all the time in the world?
It's their lives and their choices.
Patrice has found her purse during this exchange. She takes out a cigarette, wallet, and lighter.
Nobody questioned what was wrong with you when you started wearing your
I suppose a lot of folks might consider it peculiar. After 52 years of marriage, a person just becomes a part of you. It's my way of feeling close to my Samuel.
I wasn't trying to be disrespectful.
Like I said, girl, you a whiskey in a teacup.
The door opens, and Mary and Tommy Faye enter.
We're back.
You all right, Trees?
I need some air. I'm going out for a smoke.
Patrice exits with her cigarettes.
Hey, everybody shook up in here tonight.
End of Act 2, Scene 1. Act 2, Scene 2. Leah and Mo come from the kitchen and table area where the other three are.
Did my daddy call? No.
Leah takes each of Mary's hands in hers.
I'm glad you came back, Mary.
I was trying to calm her down, but she's still salty, Miss Leah.
We have a lot to talk about. I know this is a shock to everyone.
Hell yeah, it is. Carrying your own grandbaby? That is a trip.
Tommy Faye, we can do without the commentary. Thank you. Mary, I know me not telling you about this hurt you. We've shared everything since high school.
It did, but this is not about me, Leah. It is about you taking a chance on something so dangerous. Look, you have not done this thing yet, so there's still time to talk about this.
Leah lets go of Mary's hands and turns to the kitchen.
I'm not going to change my mind.
How can you do something this drastic without looking at all sides of it?
I've spent a year thinking about this, saving for it and praying on it.
But what if you spend thousands of dollars for this in vitro and it doesn't take?
We try again.
Even saving, Leah, I doubt that your pockets are so deep that you can keep putting money into this. And what about the toll that the tries would take on your body?
Is everyone ready to eat?
We're talking about your life here.
What about it?
What if you spend the money for this in vitro thing and the cancer comes back while you're pregnant? Would you have the chemo treatment and risk hurting the baby, or not have it and risk dying? If you had to terminate the pregnancy for any reason, Vita would have something else to resent you for.
You don't shy away from the worst case scenario, do you?
You don't owe Vita this, Leah. You didn't abandon her.
I wasn't there for her either. When I came back into her life, she didn't need me anymore. There was never anything I could do for her until now.
Have you considered that at our age, a baby has more of a chance of being born with special needs? Is Vita and Mark prepared to care for a special needs child if it comes to that?
Mary, please stop this. I know all the things you talk about could happen, but I don't claim them. I'm focusing on the positives.
Mary, I know what you say is out of love and concern for Leah, but at some point you got to accept a person's decision.
Miss Evie, You need to help her realize that this is just too much of a risk.
Too much for you, maybe, but it may not be for her. We don't have to like it to agree with it, but it's not for us to judge what's too much for Leah to do for her child. We don't have the power. What power we can do is to make a circle of love and support around her and do what we can to help.
Miss Leah, I didn't know you had stacks. Could you loan me 600 until my daddy get back?
Patrice re-enters.
No, Tommy, you created the issue and you have to fix it yourself.
It wasn't me. It had to be my girl High Top. I know she's the one that caused all this.
I heard you mention that little idiot running buddy of yours. What are y'all talking about?
So Aunt Mary, you want me to apologize to her? And she just came in here starting on me again?
What is it about this high top person that gets you so rattled, Patrice?
That's your newspaper subject. Don't question me.
At least I ask questions instead of jumping to conclusions about how things look.
How things look? Have you been talking about my business?
I didn't say anything.
What is going on between you two?
Nothing.
Nothing.
How can you say nothing when you two have been snapping at each other all night?
It's been longer than just tonight.
You're right, Miss Evie. It's been months now, hasn't it? Patrice, Tommy, this is not like either of you. Will one of you please say what is going on between you two?
I'm going to check on Ava, make sure she's sorting through her clothes for the Emma Willard weekend.
You still gonna send that girl to that school?
The Emma Willard School is one of the most prestigious boarding schools in the country. Less than 50% of applicants even get an invitation to visit for a weekend.
Patrice, don't go. It's still early. We have all this wonderful food and we haven't even discussed the book yet.
Yeah, Patrice, you don't need to be leaving already.
Well, I'd at least better call Robert. He'll be calling home to check on me.
Patrice saunters off to a corner of the room with her cell phone.
Is everyone ready to eat?
I've lost my appetite.
I can't eat anything.
Surprisingly, I'm not hungry.
The food will keep. Let's all get our minds off other things and talk about the book. That is the intention of the book club, after all.
Good idea, Miss Evie. A little diversion is a good thing. Everyone, come on now. Have a seat. We can have dinner after. Now, who wants to start?
I can start us out.
Thank you, Miss Evie.
The book we selected for discussion this month is The Quest of the Golden Fleece, written by W.E. Du Bois in 1911.
Dang, why y'all want to read a book from 1911?
If you came to our book club meetings more often, Tommy, you know, we decided to revisit some classics, the popular and the more obscure.
It was my turn to select the title, and I decided on Mr. Du Bois' first work of fiction.
I'm not interested in something from 1911. It doesn't got nothing to do with now.
And that's where you're wrong, child. Ain't nothing new under the sun. Anything that goes on now went on 100 years ago and beyond. The currency may be different, but people have always been the same.
Yep. They lie, cheat, steal, bully, enslave, and declare war, among other things.
Since biblical times and in every culture. Now, W.E. Du Bois was a Black activist in the early 20th century, and this book was his.
No, you put him on the phone right now. This minute. I don't care.
Patrice looks over and sees the ladies looking at her. She talks lower as she takes the phone conversation into the next room. The ladies huddle together and ask if each other knows what's wrong. A moment later, Patrice drags back to the group. She looks deflated.
Everything okay, Patrice?
Robert, he wasn't available.
Have a seat. We haven't even started talking about the book yet.
I didn't read the book.
I thought you ordered it online.
I did.
Oh, I hate it when that happens. You leave the book right there in front of you and you mean to start it, but the weeks gets by you.
I'm going to check on Ava.
Patrice starts to gather her purse, cigarettes, and lighter, but stops suddenly.
I opened it. I opened the book. And on the first page, there was a note from the author that made me feel like he was talking to me.
Okay, that sounds like a positive review. What did it say?
The words in that one line made me feel like somebody was shining a flashlight in my face. Put the book down and I didn't pick it back up.
Why did you feel that part was aimed at you?
It talked about being truthful, and I'm not with any of you. And to this very moment, not even with myself. All of a sudden, I'm just tired of lying.
What about Trees?
Guess I'm not making sense while I choke on crow. Tommy Faye was telling the truth. Robert left me.
What?
I kept saying that it was just another business trip because I thought I could fix it. His girlfriend just answered the phone. She said he was in the shower.
The ladies surround Patrice and soothe her.
I've done everything in my power to keep Robert interested. I mean, constant dieting, exercise, a nip here, a tuck there. I never even wanted kids. I had Ava to get him to stay with me, and maybe the other thing would not have worked at all.
What other thing?
It doesn't matter now. Tommy Faye, I guess I took my anger out on you the most because, I mean, you're so young and carefree. You have so much potential and a father who loves you. I came up dirt poor and had to scrape for everything I got.
You got your little Ava, Patrice. She can learn much more from her mama than she can being at some boarding school, no matter how high class it is.
But I want Ava to have the best education, a chance to meet the right people, make connections. Ava deserves better than me.
Ava doesn't want to go to some boarding school, Patrice. She wants to be with her mother. And trust me, you've all been like aunties to me. But every day, I wish I could talk to my mother. Well, you're too young to be an auntie, Mom. You're more like, I'll say my favorite big cousin.
I owe you an apology too, Mo. I was saying evil things about you and Juka Jackson out of spite. Well, I'm gonna go home and check on Ava.
But you shouldn't be by yourself right now, Patrice. Why don't you get Ava and bring her over here? She needs to spend more time around her aunties anyway.
Yes,
Yeah, okay.
that's true.
I'll go get her.
Patrice gets up and picks up her purse to go.
I'll go with you, Patrice.
Come on.
End of Act 2, Scene 2.
And now we have a 5-minute intermission. So please take a moment to stretch your legs, grab a snack, and come back to us in about 4.5 more minutes.
No. If you just not doing anything, just not doing it. You don't know. I wouldn't. You know, I make the people say I wouldn't like my nose and stuff. Did Miss Parker get in? It'll come on. It'll come on again. It's gonna come on Facebook. I think it's Facebook. Okay. All right. I'll do it.
Act 2, Scene 2. Patrice and Tommy Faye are outside of Leah's house.
Before we go anywhere, I need me a cigarette.
Cigarettes are nasty, Patrice. You know you should quit.
Not smoking makes me want to eat.
Then you should bust down, have yourself a triple cheeseburger, cheese fries with maybe some bacon, and a nice thick milkshake.
I haven't eaten a cheeseburger since before Ava was born.
That's a shame. You need some carbs in your life.
Gotta watch the waistline, especially since I'm about to be on the market again after 18 years.
I'm sorry I couldn't let High Top help you.
I don't know if having the surgery would have made Robert more interested in me again anyway. But a new 20-inch waist would have at least made him take a second look.
Letting a doctor take out your ribs just so you can have a tiny waist was like a crazy extreme plan, Patrice.
The surgeon I was going to see is one of the best.
But your own doctor said rib removal was too extreme to do just for cosmetic reasons. I could see why he didn't approve the medical referral.
Yeah, he's an ass.
Patrice, I don't want you mad at me anymore, but I couldn't let High Top put in a fake medical referral for you. If she had gotten caught forging a referral, she would lose her job, or even worse. What if something happened to you? What would happen to Ava?
This is the first time I ever seen you take a stand on anything.
That's because I would never want anything bad to happen to you. And I swear I didn't tell anybody about this.
I believe you.
Well, did you mean it when you said you thought I had potential?
Yes.
Well, it seems like you think I'm dumb.
If I thought you were dumb for real, I wouldn't get on you. You like to play dumb because you think it's cute. It's not. You get too much handed to you, and it's made you crazy and lazy and ungrateful. You don't try to do better because you know your father will come to your rescue.
But I want to do better.
Then stop dummying down and act like you know how to do something for yourself.
Patrice, remember when my mama died?
Suzanne sure did love you.
I didn't think I could ever be happy again. I didn't want to go anywhere. I didn't want to do anything. Everybody was telling me my mama was in heaven and that she would always be with me. You didn't say any of that stuff. You just asked me if I like looking pretty, and I said, yeah. You said that I had to smile to look pretty because even ugly people look pretty when they smile. Then You picked me up on that Saturday morning. You took me to buy a dress for the junior high school dance. And you did my hair. I was so afraid to go to that dance. But my hair was so slayed, I had to show it off. And I really had a nice time. And I can honestly say that's when I started to smile again. I started feeling better. Now, Ava's lucky to have you, Patrice. And if you send her to that boarding school, she's going to feel exactly the way I felt when my mama died. But it'll probably be even worse because my mama, she didn't have a choice about leaving me.
Let's go get my baby. And if she asks how many cigarettes I had, say just one.
Patrice puts away the cigarettes, checks her breath, and pops in a mint. They exit. End of Act 2, Scene 3. Act 3, Scene 1. In the living room of Leah's home, Mary and Leah are upstairs talking privately. Miss Evie is working out on the picket signs with colored markers. Mo enters the room from the upstairs.
The room?
No, I didn't even knock. They're in deep conversation about the baby thing.
That's good. They need to talk it out. You can give me a hand, though. I'm thinking these two colors will stand out.
Yeah, that should do it.
She takes a seat next to Miss Evie and starts helping her out with the protest signs.
Miss Evie, why don't you talk to me the way that you do the other ladies?
What you mean?
Oh, with Tommy Faye, your grandmotherly, and with Patrice, you're always giving her words of wisdom.
Those two need all the wisdom they can get. You just got to throw it out and hope something sticks.
Yeah, but the same with Leah and Mary. You're always there for them to talk to.
Me and you talk plenty. What are you doing? What are we doing right now?
You talk to them, it seems more personal.
So you want to talk about something personal?
Nothing in particular. It's not because I'm white, is it?
You know what? You know better than that foolishness.
Well, I mean, besides the community stuff, I wish we were closer.
You remind me of somebody who's very close to me.
Who?
Dorothy Tallman.
Tallman. Isn't she one of the ones they want to evict?
The one and only. I've known Dorothy for over 50 years.
Wow.
Bet you don't know how I got to finish my social work degree.
No.
Well, when I came up north, I still needed a few courses before I could get my certification to be a social worker. There weren't many jobs open to Negroes in those days that wasn't day work. That's maid work.
I know.
I got a job operating an elevator. Now, even though I had a bachelor's degree, that was the best I could get and lucky to have it. Some of those executives like to get in there and pinch your behind, but you couldn't jump up and yell about it like you can nowadays. You just smile and move your behind out of their hands as quick as you can.
Oh, God.
Back then, Dorothy was the only female advertising executive in the building.
And I remind you of her?
In a way.
She kicked butt.
No, Dorothy wasn't like that. She had a quiet, steady way about her.
What did she do for fun? Hang out at the malt shop?
That was the early 1960s. It was a different time.
So what did you do?
Well, Dorothy would be working late most nights and still be on duty. She would run across the street to the Woolworths counter and get us corned beef sandwiches for supper, and we ate in her office.
That's nice.
I told her I was trying to get my social work degree, but every time I applied for classes to get my final certification, they gave me reasons why I couldn't enroll. Well, Dorothy had an idea, and she took me to fill out the next application and attach my grade transcript and let her take it to the college. She had me use her house as my mailing address.
Oh, man.
Well, wouldn't you know it, with my grades and without them seeing the color of my skin in advance, I got accepted for night school right away. When I stepped in that place that first evening, you could have bought that dean for a nickel. He was shocked that I was Black, but it was too late. There wasn't anything he could do to keep me out of the classes.
You two really put it over on him.
Dorothy didn't ever talk about what she did for me. She didn't do stuff for show. She just helped in her own quiet way.
She sounds awesome.
And you kind of remind me of Dorothy in that she was interested in helping people too, but she didn't need to wear her activism on her sleeve.
Wait, what?
I don't say you're not sincere in your desire to help the community, Maureen, because I kind of believe you are.
What are you saying?
I'm saying you talk a good game, darling, but with you, things are not always as they appear.
How can you say that? I'm for the people. That's what People First is all about.
Your people newspaper does a service in the community, and that's a good thing.
I'm invested in this community.
I believe you are, to a point.
I've made my life about speaking up for people who are being left behind. I talk about police shootings, brutality against minorities, our LGBT community, and our senior citizens. I help minority businesses get ad space because no one else will give it to them at a fair price.
Maureen, you're a smart girl and an insightful person. How often have you asked yourself, why am I afraid?
I've stared down mobs, okay? I've printed my newspaper despite the threat of violence. I have challenged the police. What do you think I have to be afraid of?
Love.
What?
Patrice is wrong for coming at you like she did earlier, but she wasn't off the mark at all.
What are you saying?
Mr. Walter Juka Jackson.
Juka? What does he have to do with anything?
Mr. Jackson has everything to do with what I'm seeing.
And what do you think you're seeing?
Honestly?
Have at it.
I see a loving young woman who cares about people. She cares about the community in which she lives. There might be some little white guilt in there too, but nevertheless, she cares about folks. She cares about justice. This young lady has left the safety of her gleaming, safe, white world to come into the trenches to help fight for those who need it most, but...
But what?
She's afraid to truly be a part of it. She says she is colorblind. Oh yeah, she says all people are brothers, and she believes it up to a point. She calls herself a rebel, but she is so afraid that she is going to marry a man who she is no more in love with than I am. He is a safe white man with a solid, respectable job. Her parents like this man, and he can provide her with a comfortable home, but most of all, he can provide her with white children who will be safe. She knows that she can buy some city property to open a newspaper and shout about injustices, but she can always run back to her safe white world if the heat gets too hot.
You don't know what you're talking about.
I'm talking about a woman who is in love with a man, a Black man. She's afraid to love that man because, well, she wants children. If she marries this Black man, she will have Black children, and there'll be no turning back. She wouldn't be able to do it. Just damn the killings. She wouldn't be able to. There's institutional racism, the poor educational system in her newspaper, and then move on to the next issue. She would be that child's mother, and she'd be in it for real and for good, for better or worse.
You know, maybe you wear your husband's clothes because you're losing it.
You don't think that. You're upset because I've hit a nerve.
No, the only thing you've hit are some major annoyance buttons.
Maureen, there ain't nothing wrong with being afraid. We all have it to some degree, and we even need it. You just need to decipher for herself. You need to decipher for yourself if this fear belongs to you or to your mother.
Leah and Mary come from Leah's upstairs bedroom.
I'm sorry, Miss Evie. Mo, we didn't mean to desert you. We had to talk.
Mary goes toward the entrance door and opens it.
Patrice is back with Ava. They're driving up. Oh my goodness. Ava's almost as tall as her mother.
Leah joins her at the door entrance, and they go just outside to the porch to warmly greet Ava. The front door is partially open, and we hear them talking. We do not see Ava.
Maureen, I know you're mad at me now, but let me say this to you. Your life is your own. It deserves to be lived with choices that are your own, that you make with your own heart.
Mo turns away coldly from Miss Evie and heads toward the door where the others are greeting Ava.
Is that Ava I see?
End of Act 3, Scene 1. Act 3, Scene 2. There is a warmth, laughter, and chatter at the dining table that had previously been set for dinner.
Now that Ava is settled, are you all ready to eat?
You see, I could eat, but I don't know about this little frankenfruit that Mo brought.
Expand your taste buds beyond burgers.
Leah, are you sure you're okay with Ava eating in your bedroom?
It's fine. Let her enjoy her show.
No wonder she's talking about visiting Aunt Leah more. She's getting spoiled already.
It looks like you won't be the youngest book club member anymore, Tommy.
That is all right with me.
The phone rings. Leah answers.
Tommy Faye, it's your father.
Tommy Faye goes to the phone.
Hi, Daddy. Yeah, I did leave you a lot of messages. I was just calling to make sure you made it to Ohio okay. No, there's no emergency. Well, there was, but I'm gonna handle it. Why are you laughing? I can handle things on my own, you know. Whatever. I'll see you when I get back. I love you too. And Dad, thank you for everything. Bye.
Does anyone else think that strange things are going on here tonight?
You're right. Things are changing right before our eyes. There have been some revelations here tonight. Some of us have to make changes, and change can be a good thing.
She takes Patrice's hand.
Even if it has to hurt for a while before it gets better. But you all know I believe in the power of prayer. I believe that prayer changes things. I believe that with enough people praying for Leah to have a safe pregnancy and a healthy baby, and if you don't mind my saying, Patrice, if there's a prayer for Patrice to have the strength and courage she's going to need to weather the storm, and if there is prayer for the healing of hearts and minds here tonight, we're going to be all right. If we send up prayers for ourselves and each other's, these prayers will get heard.
Don't send up a rat, Tommy Faye.
Miss Evie always says that we have a circle. She's been an influence on Mary and me since she was a social worker in our high school. When we forged this book club 20 years ago, we brought in our friends, Patrice and Suzanne. Suzanne has gone on to her final rest, but she left us Tommy Faye, and she is a blessing. Whether she knows it or not, then Maureen came to us, and God willing, there's going to be a new life.
Touching her stomach.
We have something special here. We have a circle of life and love and friendship, and I'm grateful.
Oh, that's so cute.
Yes, yeah.
Come on now, let's have dinner. Miss Evie, will you bless the food?
Yes, I will. God, we thank you for another day. We may not have all that we want, but we are grateful for all that we have. We are grateful for our health and our families. We are grateful for our friendships, for our sisterhood, and for our circle. All glory belongs to you. Amen.
Amen.
The They pick up their plates and head to where the food is laid out buffet style.
Oh, Patrice, I was wondering if you have some time next week. I'm ready to start planning for my wedding. And Leah, of course, I want you to do the flowers.
Oh, well, finally. Now, you are way behind the 8 ball, but with me as your wedding planner, you are going to see some wedding making magic. Together Benita's wedding, and she was even further behind than you. Mary, do you remember Benita's wedding? Oh, oh my gosh.
So you decided?
Yes, I'm gonna marry Neil, the man I love.
End of Act 3, Scene 2. Epilogue. The scene opens the following Monday morning. Leah is on the phone.
That's right. Leah Charles. 10:30 with Dr. Holden. Yes, I will bring my insurance card and photo ID.
The doorbell rings.
Yes, thank you. Just a minute.
Leah hangs up the phone, goes to the door and opens it. Mary walks right in.
Hi, Mary. I didn't know you were stopping over.
You're about to head out, right?
Yes, I have the in vitro appointment at 10:30.
So why do you think I'm standing here at 9 o'clock on a Monday morning, wasting up a good sick day?
You're sick?
I'm going with you to do this thing.
You are?
Girl, what do you think?
You were so against me doing the in vitro procedure.
Were? There is no word in it. I'm mad as hell for you doing this. And I'll probably be mad at you till this baby hits puberty. But, well, you know, I'm not gonna let you go through this by yourself.
Mary.
Mary,
Come on, let's go.
Leah
And I'll
follows
drive,
Mary.
because you're too slow on the expressway.
I'm cautious.
Girl, driving too slowly is almost as dangerous as driving too fast. I've been telling you since high school, you just gotta keep up.
End of play.
Wow, thank you so much. That was wonderful. Really, really
Thank you,
wonderful.
guys. So appreciate having you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you to everyone involved
you.
here, particularly all you ladies who came back, reprised your roles, inhabiting these characters again. Of course, to Laura and Reuben for bringing the play itself. It really, really wonderful. We've got folks watching from all over, including Zoom Bomber. So we apologize for anyone who happened to be watching our chat for a moment. We have removed the offending person. So
I almost had got caught up, but it's okay. Now it's
that it does happen occasionally, but folks from all over the country, I'd be curious to hear people pipe in as to where they're from on the Zoom feed itself, and also watching on YouTube Live. So any attendees out there who are interested in asking some questions or sharing some comments with our cast and crew, please feel free, add questions in the chat or in the Q&A area of Zoom. If you click the raised hand button under the participants list, you should be alerting us to your presence, and we can bring you into the discussion. And if you're watching on YouTube, just drop some questions that you have into the comments, and we'll try and relay them through here. So while those questions are coming in, could we maybe get a quick introduction from each of you?
I'll go first. I'll go first. Okay. So my name is Erica Massey. I'm pretty much the youngest of the group. I am 20 years old. I am looking to go to school for culinary because not only do I cook to just survive, I cook because I love it, you know, and I've been acting since about age 10. So I do this for a living, okay?
So glad to have you. Okay, thank you.
Well-
Thank you, Erica.
Well, my name is Carolyn Bailey. I've attended Baber AME Church. I've been involved in plays for a good 20, 25 years, but mostly at my church. I started really in high school, and I've always been a fan of acting. And I felt like it was an honor for me to be a part of this production. And I thank Reuben and Miss Laura for the opportunity.
Thrilled to have you. We really were very thrilled to have you. Who else?
I'll go.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm Andrea Daskowitz. I'm not sure what to
You've
say.
been in a lot of shows and done a fantastic job. Starting there.
I have been in a bunch of shows, but it's all been like in the last 2 to 3 years. I feel like I'm kind of new to the scene in Rochester. Even though I like was raised and grew up here. I minored in theater in college, and I decided I was gonna pursue it even if I sucked, which is how I felt in college and in most of high school. But I'm so happy to be like be able to perform with this like amazing, talented group of women, and be able to work with Reuben and Laura again, and also collaborate with Penfield Players while doing it. So that's that.
All right. Thank you very much. Leah, Stacy.
Hello, my name is Stacy Warren, and I love acting. That is my first love. Even though I'm a registered nurse, even before nursing, I got my bachelor's in theater, and then later on became a nurse. Been acting since I was in kindergarten at number 4 school, started with Miss Dodge, then Mr. Perkins, and I've loved theater ever since. I got introduced at a young age.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you, Stacy. Adriana.
Hi, I'm Adriana Ellendorf. I'm an English teacher. I just happen to love acting. I've probably been about 6 years. So I guess in the theater world, that's pretty new. And I love actually that Laura actually reached out to do this play again, because this is actually one of my favorites. Not saying that because she's sitting here, but I've done 2 plays with her, and they're actually 2 of my favorites. More so I think because they're just so realistic. I just love it. But yeah, I'm English teacher, mom who just happens to love acting.
Well, we're glad you do, because we're very happy to have you. You make a fantastic Patrice. Absolutely. Miss Shirlene. Shirlene, I was so pleased to have her as our narrator. I think she has the most wonderful voice.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So happy to have you, Shirlene.
Well, thank you, Laura. It's great to be with you again. I've been in theater for a while. I was born and raised here in Rochester, and I started theater with Elmita Whitus many years ago. I'm just happy to be amongst these great women. You guys did a wonderful job. There were times I was caught up and I was like, oh, dang, do I talk? And I thought, oh, my goodness, it might be me. I was just so into it. You did a wonderful job. Thank you so much, everyone.
They did.
Well done.
Yes, thank you. Miss Shirlene, Almeda is my cousin.
Oh, how about that?
Really?
Oh, I love her work. I'll skip over myself, Ron.
Well, my name is Ron Dufour. I'm a member of the Penfield Players board, and delighted to be even peripherally involved in such a wonderful show. And for the folks that joined us last night, I had the distinct pleasure of chatting with Laura for 45 minutes, almost close to an hour, really learning more about the makings of this play and the thoughts behind it. It is available on YouTube, so watch that conversation if you haven't seen it already. It is really wonderful, and thank you for inviting me back to quasi-host tonight. Really, you all are doing the work tonight, and I'm glad to be able to witness it from the inside.
We're the appreciative ones, Ron. So glad to have you. Mary, our Lori
Hi.
Stevens.
I'm Lori
Hi.
Stevens. How you doing? I love the movies. So I got turned on to acting by actually Michael Atkins Yawn. He goes to my church and he started a Monty Theater ensemble. I've done some things with him, some things with Robert Ricks. I love Laura and Reuben. I'm a sheriff deputy by career. So this is fun for me, and that strong Mary role is easy.
Yes.
That's how I act anyway.
We all need a friend like Mary. We do, to watch your back. You know,
Yes.
it would be a blessing to have a friend like Mary.
Right. Thank you.
And you
Thanks
do
for
her
having
so
me.
well.
Thanks for having me.
No, I'm the one thing. I thank you. I thank all of you. I feel so, it's such a privilege to have you all back. I was so thrilled when you were all able, when I got the final yes. And that was the last person who said, yes, I can do it. So I was so happy to have the whole cast back. So thank you very much. In looking at the questions, people, please feel free to call in with questions for the cast or myself. But I see one question here where someone was saying how much they enjoyed the production, they enjoyed the reading, and they asked if any of you have aspirations for a professional to act professionally.
Would be nice.
Definitely.
It would be nice.
Would be nice.
I
It would
definitely
be nice.
I see myself. I've always looked up to Black artists. So definitely one of my favorite of all time actors is Miss Angela Bassett.
Oh yeah, I love
And
her.
I am trying to get right up there with her. So that's definitely in my plan.
Okay.
I think it would be fun to do, but I don't want to get paid to do something I love, because when it becomes a job, then I have to I don't know. It's like when it becomes like I have to do this, I have to do this in order to eat, in order to pay rent, then I think it would stop being fun. And I want it to be fun for as long as possible. If I can get paid for it, professionally, then yeah, that'd be cool. But I don't want theater to become the reason, I do it because I need to eat and live.
Oh, I see what,
Yeah, I don't want theater to do that. So while I would do it professionally, I wouldn't want to be oh yeah, it's my bread and butter.
Okay. Oh, well, that makes sense. So I'm glad you good. That means I don't have to pay you for the next production. It's like I got money, and sometimes I get money in my hand. I got to pay. Oh, that's good.
Hell no, I'm good without being, no. Maybe it's fine.
So we are so happy that you enjoy doing it, because you can see your passion and your commitment to it. It's the same with the rest of you ladies. We can see your passion and commitment and your joy to watch. You really are. So thank you again. Did we have any other questions?
We do have a question from Sandy, and I think if I click the right button here, we can let Sandy ask her own question. So let me do that. Go ahead. I think if you can unmute yourself, Sandy, I think you can. I think you have to unmute. There you go.
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, good. Oh, I so loved this play. I really enjoyed reading it because I'm on the board of the Penfield Players, and I was reading plays for doing a play reading, and I loved reading it. Was very enthusiastic about it. It really comes to life with all the different women. Laura, you have done a fabulous job in creating such different women coming together, meshed. God, it's wonderful. And it reminds me of my book club that's been going on for over 25 years.
Oh, okay. That's how long my book club has been together for 28 years, but I've only been a part of it for 25. So, yeah, so good. You're right.
Wow.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. you know, we've been through life changes just like these ladies have, and we've always been there for each other. So it was nice to see. Love the play. It's a perfect little slice of life there.
Good.
And I
Okay.
love the fact that they all kind of come together in the end, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I wanted. I did want to show, because I'm a part of a book club, like yourself, Sandy, and there, I really appreciate the closeness, the camaraderie, and the being there for each other. So yeah, so I did want them,
Yeah.
but I know they do arguing, they bicker, but you know, but like family, you bicker, but you come together.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and that's what I wanted to.
Yeah,
I
fight
wanted-
like sisters.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And that's what I wanted to show. Good. Okay.
Thank you
It
so
worked.
much for
It
that.
worked beautifully.
Thank you for that question.
We did have a question from Elizabeth, Laura, for you specifically. If there was one of the characters that was easiest to write.
You know, I would say no. They were like on the same level. I mean, there are certain characters, like for example, Patrice has so much background that I didn't include. What I was saying last night is that for each character, I wrote a synopsis of what each character is like, and I wrote, to further get to know the character more, I wrote a separate little stories about them just to kind of get to know them more and be able to see this book club and their present situation through their eyes. And so, like for someone like Patrice, she had so many hidden layers, and she has a life of growing up poor and always wanting to do better and be better, and having had a tough life, and finally getting that prize guy, who's like the captain of the football team and the really desirable guy. And now she has minimized herself in so many ways to be able to keep that guy and make him feel special, and do everything that he wanted to do. Meanwhile, she's been minimizing her own desires and her own wants. And so she has so many things inside of her, but I couldn't put in everything. And then Miss Evie has seen so much, and she's experienced so much. And that's why her dialogue is pretty dense. She has a lot of wisdom. So I wouldn't say anyone was easier. I mean, for some characters, I had more background for them, and I had more ideas of what their history may have been. So I had a hard time I couldn't put in everything. So especially for those two characters, it was difficult and Leah also. And I did a lot of thinking about Leah's, the relationship that she had with her daughter. So that made her situation kind of tough. So I wouldn't say there was any who were easier. I would say there are a couple who are the toughest, because I had so much background for them.
Well, I think it's so evident, Laura, that these characters are so fleshed out, so real. Other people have already said it tonight, how real and genuine they all feel. That's of course a tribute to your writing, but also the performances that that everyone has given, and I presume also the direction. It plays a role there too in being able to, it probably makes it easier for a director to flesh out these things when all of that background has already been done. It's clear. And that reminds me that we have not met Reuben yet here tonight. Reuben, are you still on, and can you say hello for us?
Hello, everyone. I'm Reuben Joseph Tapp, and I am on in a number of ways tonight.
Can we see you?
Say it again.
Can we see you? Am I?
Oh, there I am now. I guess can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. We can see. Okay. Yes.
Every time someone says something, it goes to the active person. Okay. So this is I, and so give it up for the cast again. We had some initial challenges coming in, but we persevered, and they pulled off something pretty phenomenal. So I want to thank the cast again, as well as Ron and Laura being here, as well as Elizabeth being in the shadows. And so the play was great, and it was great to hear some of the dialogue. It's like you are in the, I don't know, eavesdropping on women's conversations. So that was kind of cool. So I hope that you all enjoyed some of the ins and outs and the turns and twists that the circle gave you all. And for those who were able to see it when we did it at the Muck Theater, and possibly again at some point. So yeah, glad to be here. I know Ron will probably mention later, but later on we will show you some of the upcoming upcoming virtual monthly theater productions, or virtual theater productions that'll be coming on. Some of these are videos that where they were pre-recorded, and some are advertising shows for when things go back into the theater. So you want to stay closer to the end so we can kind of show some of those things. And with that, I will be gone.
Thank you, Reuben. It's wonderful to have you, and wonderful to have everyone here. Flowing through the chat of Zoom, and when you get a chance to look back on this, everyone who is part of this Zoom, the number of compliments and praise, the amount of praise flowing through is a lot. Congratulations, awesome job, terrific. Same on YouTube. The positive comments just keep flowing in. So really well received around. Let me see if there's any other question. I don't see a lot more questions floating in, just a lot of praise. So people were very appreciative. What a great experience. What a wonderful job.
Can I say something real quick?
Absolutely.
I'm looking at the comments on YouTube, and I can see my Nana. She's with my little sisters and my little brothers and stuff. So I just want to say thank you, Nana, and thank you, Lyric, Nina, and Legend, for watching my show. Love you guys.
Oh.
We just did get a new question. Let's see, from Hillary. I'm wondering if the actors had a chance to read the Du Bois book, and aside from Patrice's character, who mentioned truthfulness, what they thought their character might have to say about it. Oh, that's deep.
Mm-hmm. Didn't read the book.
So
that's my truth.
I haven't read it yet either.
So for me, I've read, I'm sorry, I've read parts of the book when I was in college, and then I've also read some of the books on my own time when I was in high school. I have yet to read the whole book. I would like to. But the whole thoughts about truthfulness, I think my character is just living her best life right now. I'd say give her about like 8 more years and then come back and ask me.
Yeah.
Other than that,
Okay. Whoa, that was a deep one, huh?
Yeah. Laura, how did you come to choose that book?
How did I choose that book? As I was saying last night, I was in the midst of writing the play when it occurred to me that, they need to be reading something. And I wanted to make it something that would cause further conversation. I didn't want it to be the local contemporary, Terry McMillan, or, something that I would, normally enjoy. I wanted to be something that would cause a stir and cause a reaction in the play. And how I came up with this book, I really can't say. At this moment, I can't recall how I happened to find this or learn about this particular book, but something made me check into it. And there was a paragraph right in the beginning of the book. It says something about truth coming to light. And I thought, that paragraph will affect Patrice, could affect Patrice. So I really can't say, maybe it was on my, when I come across a book I intend to read, I tend to keep a running list of them. So when I am looking for something to read, I can go to that list and say, oh, I've been meaning to read such and such. And it may have been a selection on my to read list, but I'm glad I happened to run across it because I thought it helped to spark conversation, and it was just the thing to elicit a response from Patrice. When she was saying she read the intro to it, and it talked about truth and coming to light. And so I really can't say how I came across that particular selection, but I know I wanted to do something obscure.
Well, you've inspired some of our viewers tonight to order it, apparently, according to our chat.
Dang, you should be getting a commission or something, right? Yeah, kickback, something. Wow, okay. But now I feel like I really must finish that. I started and I never did finish the whole thing, but I know I need to now. So.
Are you gonna have us read it if we do this again, like in person?
I'll tell you what, I'll read it and give you an overview of it.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Cliff Notes version. Okay. And you know what, though? I forgot, for the actual production, we did get the book. As a matter of fact, I do have it because we got the book, and because we needed copies of it for the production, and we did get copies of the book. And after the production, I did collect them and I kind of stored them away. So when I do go to read it, I have several copies.
Think we can find it at the library?
Yeah. Oh, probably so. Yeah.
It's so old, you think it might be?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think initially I got it online, or, was reading it online or something. And then we did end up ordering copies of it so that we could, so that we could have physical copies for the production.
I think I'm gonna get it and try to read it.
Any other questions, Ryan?
Oh, Laura, I think if you can click on the Q&A section, there is a wonderful comment from an anonymous attendee from Los Angeles.
Oh, from Los Angeles. Ooh.
And it's quite long, and I think if I read it, it might sound a little funny, but there's very, very personal connections to a few of you, I think, in this. So I would be. Ooh. I don't know if maybe you'd like to read it. I could read it.
I will.
Why don't you go ahead? Yeah.
Okay. Anonymous attendee. Excellent job, sisters. This was so awesome. Miss Bailey is why I am here. I am very proud of your stellar performance, Sister Bailey. I am so motivated to continue to hone my creative gifts after this viewing of outstanding writings. Hey, Laura, so proud of you, beautiful. I know Laura from my working as an executive assistant to the former county executive, Robert L. King, a stint before I became an English teacher in Los Angeles. Laura, sister, your writing is amazing. Sending love from Los Angeles. Keep writing and producing. Oh, and I know who this is. Oh, what beautiful words. Thank you. I appreciate it. I know just who that is. And what a small community. The person who that is someone I work for Monroe County. I've been with the county for going on 32 years now. November will be 32 years. And this is a person I met shortly after I came when I was just a kid, basically, when I came to the county. And the person calling from, writing in from Los Angeles. So thank you for your kind words. We appreciate it. Wonderful.
Yes, we do.
All right.
All right. Well, I think nothing better than ending on a high note.
Yes.
As Reuben mentioned, before I actually close us out here tonight, I do want to mention a couple of upcoming projects. So as he was alluding to, the Bronze Collective has been running a virtual theater fest with live online shows or some type of online presentation on the third Friday and Saturday of every month. So I think we should be seeing the next presentation from them is next weekend. So April 16th and 17th and the project is Emancipation Denied. And that's, so we can see that there. And the Penfield Players is presenting The Haunting of Hill House this fall. So October, I believe it's the 29th through November 13th. So a 3-week run. And hopefully on a stage, if we're able to do that safely. So yeah, knock on wood, and really hoping that we will be able to do some in-person theater by that point. So please check out penfieldplayers.org or follow one of our Facebook pages, facebook.com/penfieldplayers or facebook.com/Rochester Bronze Collective. Stay up to date with all of the projects that might be bubbling out, especially as our theater world starts to open up again. So let me once again thank everybody who helped to bring this to life. Elizabeth Saunders and the Penfield Players, the Bronze Collective, theatre+nafsi for all the production work, Reuben for directing, and also wrangling all the technical side of this live stream. The wonderful, wonderful cast, Sherlyn, Erica, Adriana, Lori, Carolyn, Andrea, Stacy, and of course, Laura for weaving the story together and bringing it to us, sharing it with us. Yeah.
All right. Thank you all so much. I appreciate it. Yay. Good night, everybody.
Yes.
Night,
Thank you all
everybody.
for joining
Bye,
us.
ladies.
Night.
We'll
Right.
hopefully
Seeing
see you
everybody.
soon.
I know.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.
Have a wonderful evening, everybody. Thank you.
Too.
Have a
Thank
good
you.
one.